This is James Holder for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. With me, I've got none other than Dylan White, the body snatcher, aka Sweet Chuck. What's happening, Dill? How are you, mate?
I'm good, but why do you keep giving me his name? Sweet Chuck, Corn Chucker,
Just came to me.
Pork Chuck. What's it all of this?
Just came to me, man. What's been going on in the world of Dylan since we've last caught up?
I'm good. Just out here, still trying to make it, still trying to survive, trying to make a living and keep the wolves away from the door, man.
We saw an altercation between yourself and Bryant Jennings at the weigh-in of David Haye versus Tony Bellew. Can you explain to me what was going on there, please?
Simple. Jennings was just talking a lot of shit, saying this and saying that, saying I can't fuck with him, this that, and the other. And I just run up at him and then I Shannon Briggs in him. I run up at him and just screaming, "It's the champ! It's the champ! I'm here! I'm here to fuck with you! Let's go, Jennings! Let's go!" And he was there, like, "Oh no, man. Yeah, man. What I mean was, man, yeah. You take what I was saying out of context, man. You know, I didn't mean it like that. What I meant was, you know, man, none of your heavyweights can fuck with me. You know, I was like, so what you saying? I can't fuck with you?" And he's like, "Oh no, man. Come on, man. I'm in England. I'm not here to cause trouble, man. I'm a visitor, man." You know, I was just like, "All right, don't talk shit, then, guy. If you talk shit, you know, if you feel like you're calling me, you're trying to challenge me, I'll show up and defend my thing, man." And that's what I did. He didn't want to know. You know, he was terrified. Not bully or anything, but, you know, if you're going to talk shit, then expect repercussions.
Do you see that as a potential fight with Bryant Jennings? Do you think
Yeah,
that
of
can
course, a
happen?
potential fight. You know, all these fights are potential fight. I want to fight all the best heavyweights in the world, man. You know, Jennings, he was all right at one stage. You know, his last couple of fights, he's looked a bit like a bitch in them, but, you know, he's still credible, I guess. So, yeah.
Been talk of yourself be Dominic Brazil as well. I know you've been quite vocal regarding Dominic. Dominic came through a good win on the undercard of Deontay Wilder. So what are your thoughts on that as a potential fight?
It's a good fight. It's one I want, but I hear he's trying to chase Wilder at the minute. But it's a fight idea instead he's reached out for and he's trying to get made for September. But also happen, you know what I mean? But obviously in September, I'm hoping to a big fight in September. You know what I mean? Eddie also said if you can't get them at Brazil, he'll try and make me versus Tony Bellew. So we'll see.
Before we come on to that, let's talk a little bit about what we saw on Saturday night just gone. Tony Bellew being victorious against David Haye in a fight that not many people gave him a chance of winning going into. Firstly, let's talk about the fight itself. Break it down for me how you saw it.
It was a good fight, but I was so disappointed with David. David just looked, I don't know, maybe he needs Adam Booth or something. I don't know, man, you know, because when he was with Adam, he was a lot more professional and he approached these fights better. And you know, I don't know what Shane was telling him in the corner. You know, there's a lot of mistakes I was making. If David had an injury going into the fight, David Joyles had foot injury. If you watch when he fought Aldarison, his right leg was strapped up and taped up all the way up to his knee, underneath his calf. You know what I mean? Because Adam, you know, that's the difference between having a professional team behind you and having yes man corner team around you. You know what I mean? You know, obviously, Adam was very religious with preparation and what he does, and obviously doing stuff in preparation for the fight. You know, so. But firstly, David just seemed off. He didn't seem right at all. Bellew did good. You know what I mean? Firstly, Bellew done good. He done all right. You know, but he just never he's not a proper heavyweight. He never had the power to trouble or to stop a proper heavyweight. Because let's be honest, David was on one leg. How hard is it to knock over a one-legged man? You know, any proper heavyweight would have knocked over a one-legged man. You know, Bellew struggled. He didn't really knock David out. David fell out the ring, got up, and swung at him and missed. And you know what I mean? And the referee just stopped it. But like I said, it was a good fight. You know, I had David winning up until round 5 till he done his Achilles. You know, but like I said, Bellew showed guts and courage, and which everyone knows he's got. He's got guts and he's got courage, but he's just not a proper heavyweight. He's a fake heavyweight.
From David Haye's point of view, do you think his corner should have pulled him out immediately when the Achilles went, or do you think they was right for him to give him a chance to try and win the fight?
They was right because they know that he stands a puncher's chance. And he's in against someone who gets hit regular and it's very open. And he almost knocked Bellew out a few times even though he was on one leg. You know, a couple of times he clipped Bellew on the way and almost knocked him out. I'm saying all Bellew had to do is just jab and walk across the ring, jab and walk across the ring, and Haye wouldn't have been able to walk across the ring to get him, so therefore would have stopped the fight. You know, because David couldn't walk. David just stood up on the rope, and Bellew was hitting with so many clean shots and couldn't bother him. You know.
Do you think David underestimated Tony Bellew? He has had a good run. He's got some momentum behind him. He got knocked down in his WBC Cruiserweight World title to come back off the floor to win the fight. David Haye said with his inactivity, look at the two opponents he's fought before.
I think David
they don't sort of scare people.
David had underestimate him, but let's be honest. As a full blown heavyweight been campaigning at the level he's been campaigning for, he should be doing the likes of Bellew if he have any more world title aspirations, shouldn't he? You know, that's the honest truth of it. You know what I mean? Like I said, Eddie said that me and Bellew is a possible fight for September. I hope it happens because Bellew will get destroyed. All you need to beat Tony Bellew is a decent jab. You don't even need a good jab. There's a decent jab and you beat him, you know?
Are you keen on the Tony Bellew fight then, having spoken to Eddie? Is that
I'm very keen on the fight. It's a fight I want because he's already screaming world title. You can't get a world title shot before me. I've fought eliminators, I've fought the hard fights and I got myself in a position. There's no way you can come up and fight a guy who's been out for 5 years, who haven't fought no one, who's not properly ranked, who you struggle to beat with one leg and get a world title shot before me. If you want a world title shot and you want to make money, fight me in a final eliminator. What other fight? There's only one fight that's going to get more money from fighting, and that's Deontay Wilder. You can't fight Deontay Wilder because Deontay Wilder is tied up with his mandatory. So, who's Joseph Parker? No one knows who Joseph Parker is. If he wants to make money and secure his children's future, he should fight me.
We're not quite clear as to what Tony Bellew's going to do yet. Immediately after the fight on Sky, he made a statement regarding Deontay Wilder. In the press conference after, he didn't retract that statement, but he said he might have got carried away in the emotion of the night, so he's going to assess as to what he wants to do. Do you see him campaigning at heavyweight?
He should stay at heavyweight. He wants to stay at heavyweight. You know, heavyweight's where the money is at. You know, heavyweight's where the big fights and money is at. There's no big fights at cruiserweight. What big fighters do you got at cruiserweight to fight? Who's going to fight cruiserweight? It's a big fight.
Potentially, he would face the winner of Bradis and Marco Huck.
No one cares about them guys, though. It's heavyweight is where he's at. You know, Bellew, Dylan White and Sky Sports box office. Big fight. Big build up. Proper fight, you know what I mean? And he'll be fighting a proper heavyweight who's coming to bash him up, not someone who's just, you know, just come out there and swing a couple of punches and step back and broke his Achilles. David's old now and David's body can't handle the strain of training and competition anymore. David's an old man. You know, Bellew should let get in there and fight me. Someone who's 28 and hungry and is a true heavyweight who comes to fight. And let's see what happens.
When I spoke to you about David Haye, Tony Bellew, you told me that you wasn't best of friends with Tony Bellew, but you was backing him to beat David Haye. So where has this turn come from? Is it strictly business from your point of view?
It's strictly business, but his team Cesaro as well. When I was fighting Cesaro, he was jumping up and shouting for Cesaro. I was saying, come on, Derek, you can beat him. You're going to do this, you're going to do that. So, you know, straight away I thought, what a dick. You know what I mean? And from then, I just thought, this guy is a proper dickhead. You know, I'd love to get my hands on him. I know the opportunity is kind of there for me to get my hands on him. I'd love to get my hands on him and smash him up. You know what I mean? I got lots of friends in Liverpool and they don't really... A lot of people tell me a lot of things about Tony Bellew. He's two-faced and he's a dodgy character, you know what I mean?
How much credit do you give Tony Bellew for the win against David Haye? He's in there. It isn't his fault. So
I give him loads of credit. I give him loads of credit. He went out there and did what he had to do. You know what I mean? You could see he was nervous and he was scared. You know what I mean? I give him loads of credit. I give him and Dave Coyle loads of credit. They trained well and they prepared well. They had a little game plan going, but David was still beating him until David got injured. But, you know, fair play to him. Winning, they beat one of the biggest punches in world boxing, you know what I mean? But David wasn't there at all, you know what I mean? If you look at David's whole career, look how David fought at the weekend, it's like a completely different person. David just seemed angry, he was swinging and missing, he wasn't jabbing, he wasn't moving his head, he wasn't doing anything. What he was doing was crazy. It was like a street fight, you know? He was just swinging big haymakers with no setup, no tricks, no nothing. I've never seen David fought like before. Maybe, you know, David's just lost. He just lost it. He haven't got it anymore.
He has had a long and illustrious career, David Haye, both in the amateurs and in the professional ranks, unifying the cruiserweight division, winning a WBA title at heavyweight. Do you see him having the sort of the willpower and the wanting to come back after such a high profile defeat to Bellew?
I don't know, man. I can't say what's in his mind or whatever, but you know, he showed a lot of heart in the fight. You know, but also I think that's partly to do with Bellew never had the punch power to knock him out, to trouble him, so he was able to stay in there and take the punishment. You know, if Haye or any other top 10 heavyweight was hitting David in the face, while he was on one leg with as much clean shot as Bellew hit him, and he'd have been out. And that's a fact.
Let's talk a little bit about Derek Chisora. We had him on the channel the other day. His quote was, "When you're ready, come to Daddy. He's waiting for you." What was your initial reaction to that?
If I go to Disneyland in the car with my daughter, he threatened my life. If he come to the car, what if I do something? Derek talk shit, man. That's all Derek's good for. He's talking shit. Derek talking shit. Derek's the worst businessman ever. Derek's not a good person to do business with because he's fake. You know, he's fake and he's stupid. He's just... Derek's got no business sense. That's the messed up thing. Yeah, that's why promoters use him and take advantage of him his whole career because he's not a businessman. You know. Cristiano got to ask you, why didn't you do an interview with him after the fight in Manchester?
When?
After me and him fought. Why didn't you do it? You never done that interview.
That's a good
Because
question.
he was bashed up. That's why his eyes was cut and his eyes was closed. And he went in. He was in hiding for weeks after the fight. When he sent me the Box Nation dinner, he had sunglasses on, didn't he? Because he was hurt and he was ashamed to show his donkey face because the donkey got a couple of thumps in his mouth. And his lips was swollen. His eyes was cut. His eyes was swollen. He got bashed up in the fight, and that's why he done a proper veteran trick. Did no interview and hid out for a couple of weeks. You know?
The public enjoyed the fight. It done great numbers. The first one wasn't pay-per-view. Do you think for that
It was
fight,
pay-per-view.
Sorry, it wasn't on standalone pay-per-view. Do you think for that fight to happen again, there's got to be bigger numbers in it for yourself and Derek?
Derek's an idiot. So Derek not interested in bigger numbers. He's not clever at all. The man is stupid. But for me, I thought, listen, this is simple. People can say whatever they want. I'm in this business to feed my family and to make sure when I retire from this game, I'm healthy and I have enough to look after me and my kids and their kids after them. It was a good fight. I want to do it again because I believe I can knock him out in the first 6 rounds next time. I was like, I believe my inexperience played a part against me, but I also have to get paid. I'm not in this fight to I want to say, yeah, James, let's go out for dinner. Let's have a nice dinner and do a proper interview around it. You know what I mean? I don't want to go and have another hard fight for less money than what I made last time. I just a little bit more. I want to, you know, I'm about progression and improvement. I want to improve. You know what I mean? If I have another harder big fight, I want it to be bigger than the other one and for me to be better off than the one I had before. And it's as simple as that. I'm willing to fight. I'm ready to fight. I'm not hiding from Chisora. Eddie Hearn knows. I told Eddie Hearn what I want. And Derek haven't come up with the money. He said he'll pay you the money. If you come up with the money, the fight would have happened. It's as simple as that. Why am I fighting him again for? It's a good fight. Okay. I love giving the fans a fight they want. I've always done that. I've never said no to a fight before. But I'm a grown-ass man. My children's getting older. Things is getting more expensive. You know what I mean? I need to make sure that these things add up for me. You know, when I go to these training camps, they cost some money. When I bring sparring partners over, they cost some money. You know, when I got to pay my coach, I got to pay this, I got to pay that. So I need to make sure there's enough in it for me to smile about after and say, oh yeah, I done all right.
We know you abstain from taking and putting yourself in certain situations where you feel it could be hostile or it could sort of get you into any trouble or aggravation. With Derek being ringside on Saturday and we've seen him sort of getting involved in the Groves, the Gal video, do you feel that would have been a prime opportunity for you two to clash if you would have been there?
No, listen, Derek, this thing's a game for Derek and he likes playing game and like doing silly, outrageous things like biting people and kissing people, spitting at people, throwing tables and all of that. I'm not interested in all that because if he does that to me, you know, I would do stuff to him. So I stay away from it and leave him to do what he's doing. He can talk as much as he wants to talk. He knows where I am. He's got my number. He can come and find me. If he wants to make the fight, he knows what to do. So there's no point in me going out and screaming and going crazy and then getting suspended or getting arrested because he's the kind of guy that will talk rubbish. And if you bash him up, he'll go to the police. He's a typical kind of guy that will say, he threatened my life. I scare my life, you know. I say to him, he come to me, you know, he's a thug, you know, he's bad man from Brixton, you know. What if I go to Disneyland? What? You know? What? And what the fuck would I be doing in Disneyland? What? Is my part-time job to play Mickey Mouse or something? or fucking Daffy the Duck or something. The guy he's a crazy guy, you know what I mean? He's just a stupid guy. He's as stupid as they come.
Coming up in the heavyweight landscape, we've got Anthony Joshua, Vladimir Klitschko. Big chance for Anthony Joshua to sort of reign superiority on the division, so to speak. How do you see that fight playing out?
I think the timing is good time for him, I believe. You know, but Vladimir's got a way of rolling back the clock, and you know, I just think when you look at the fight, Vladimir's been out for 2 years almost. He's 42 years old. He's had so much fights. He's got a lot of money. He's achieved everything there is to achieve. You know, he's thinking, how much more can he do? Let's be honest, how much more can he do? The timing might be right, you know. But both of them similar in style and stature and physique and height and everything. Who knows where it will go? But I just think the time, like I said, I think the timing is good. But I think there's only one thing I know Vladimir is looking forward to in this fight, is to be the only world champion to beat 3 Olympic gold medalists in his day. That's the only thing, and that's a big thing for him, because something he's always spoke about, being the only champion in their reign to beat 3 Olympic gold medal in their career. 3 Olympic gold medalists. So if he could do that, then you know, maybe that is motivating him enough to show up. But we'll find out shortly. But you know, it's a good fight.
Do you think Anthony Joshua has to nullify Klitschko's jab to win this fight?
I think he needs to go out and try and put it on him early, because Vladimir is a wily, scary sort of character. You know what I mean? He panic and he's erratic. You know what I mean? I think he needs to go out there and start punching him in the face as soon as he can. You know, try and put fear in his heart as soon as he can. You know, Vladimir is the kind of guy that when he gets hit, he shies away and panics. You know.
Mm-hmm. Do you visualise an Anthony Joshua rematch for yourself in the near future?
Yeah, of course, 100%. But you know, like I said last time, I went to the fight injured. I even had my surgery booked for 2 days after the fight. That's why I went to surgery 2 days after. I had my shoulder surgery booked. Everyone knows I was injured, but I wasn't about to let the fans down. I still believed I had enough to beat him, and I did have enough to beat him, you know what I mean? But you know, I wasn't conditioned right, couldn't train properly. I went in there, I was looking for a puncher's chance, and when it came in the second round, my shoulder popped out the joint, you know what I mean? But you know, what else could I do? I carried on fighting. I gave it the best I could, but you know, I mean, I was injured, and from there it was a downhill struggle. You know what I mean? My coach had to pull me out in the second and the third and the fourth. I said to my coach, listen, I'm never quitting this fight. The only way I'm losing is if I got out my ass, and I did. You know what I mean? I could have done like Spike O'Sullivan, the fight for me, and just sat in the stool and said, yeah, that's it, I'm done. I've done 2 rounds, I show up. You know, but that's not my mentality, my mindset. My mindset is to go in there and give it my all and keep trying and keep thinking. But I definitely want the rematch. It's 100%. It's one I'm working towards. I'm just keeping myself to myself. Work on my condition, get rid of all these little niggling injuries that I have. You know, be more professional and just get more experience. Because I've had 29 fights, amateur and pro. I've not had a lot of fights. I've not had a lot of boxing fights at all. So, very inexperienced. I'm constantly learning the job. And in the fight, as the fights is going on, I'm seeing stuff and I'm figuring it out and I'm learning. I'm like, okay, that's that, okay. And I'm seeing stuff. So I'm still very inexperienced. A lots more to come.
How are you at Mark Tibbs sort of getting on now? You've spent a lot of time, long enough now to know each other quite well. How are you finding that partnership with Mark?
Me and Mark's cool, man. You know, me and Mark, you know, we get on quite well. We got a good working relationship and a personal relationship. So we are cool. You know what I mean? Mark is easy going. He don't take no shit. We go to the gym. He's professional. I'm professional. You know, he's different a yes man trainer. He's different a yes man trainer. He tells me, yo, we're going to do this, or we're going to do that. Or this is what we're doing. But we have a lot of respect for each other. So there's no argument or there's no debate. He tells me, listen, we're sparring 10 rounds today. We're doing this and this and that. I said, no worries, boss. Thank you. Even in the fight, as you can see, when he was speaking to me in the fight, he's speaking to me. I said, yep, And he was like, speak to me. And I said, Mark, I hear you. I'm listening to you. And I'm taking the information in. I haven't got anything to say or anything to be, you know, anything to disagree with. I agree with everything you're saying. Let's go. That's a relationship we have because I trust him and he trusts me. You know, he believes in me and I believe in him. So when him and Jimmy told me stuff, I just do it straight away. I don't think twice. That's a very good relationship to have with your trainer. Trainer fight, I have ultimate respect for each other, you know.
You're back potentially in action in May. Waiting to see what sort of level of opponent. Is there any information you can give us regarding who and what we can expect to see?
Well, I'm fighting May and September. I'm trying to get both opponents lined up from now. I'm waiting for Eddie to let me see if he texts me actually. Hold on. I texted him earlier, say he was in a meeting. He ain't text me. Hold on. Yeah, I think this phone's dead. Shit.
If you was Joshua, he would have phoned you back.
Yeah, of course, Joshua's making him millions at the minute. That's normal. But you know, everything's got its place in its time. I know where I am. I'm not arrogant enough to think, oh yeah, I'm the main man. This and the other. No, you know, you have to bide your time. You know, you have to. You know, a wise man takes his time. Look at landscape. Keep plotting. Keep chipping away. Keep chipping. When your time come, you pounce. You know, you can't pounce before your time, otherwise you might miss. You know, and I've learned that because I pounced before my time, before I missed. So now I've learned from experience teach me to take my time.
Opponent names, anyone in the mix for May? Anything you can sort of tell us?
No, there's a couple of names in the bag. There's a guy that beat Deontay Wilder, Christoph Ziminov. I think he's 22-1 or something. That's the kind of level of opponent I'm looking at, to be honest. You know what I mean? There's a backstory there. It's a guy that beat Deontay Wilder, etc., etc. So we'll see. You know what I mean? This thing's all about money and how much Eddie's willing to pay to get these guys and arrange these fights or whatever. So I had a good chat with him last week, Friday. And, you know what I mean? He's working and stuff and he's on stuff. You know, the good thing is we have a good working relationship. But, you know, when you're a big promoter, you got so much different fighters. Sometimes your attention is spread across too much. Yeah, and I figure no one ain't going to give me anything. So I got to go and get it myself. And that's why I'm trying to make all these fights myself. I'm trying to get attention on these fights. Because no one ain't going to hand me nothing, you know. I got to eat. I got to go and catch it and cook it and eat it myself. No one ain't going to say, oh, here's a meal. No. I've never had no great amateur career or nothing. I've put myself in this situation to get to get these fights and get to where I am. So I have to keep doing that, unfortunately.
If you come through that fight, are we expecting a massive fight for, say, maybe September time? Is that your logic of thinking?
Yeah, I get through this fight. You know, there's one big fight that I can say, Tony Bellew, you know, as David, they call him the bell end. You know, if he wants the fight, then I'm here. You know what I mean? I've already spoke to Eddie about it. Eddie said he's going to try and get it made. So we'll see if the bell end doesn't want it, then Dominic Brazil can have it, you know? Like I said, I'm the can man. The bell end can't have it, you know? Brazil. Anyway, them two guys, they're good fights. You know? I mean, Bellew want to fight for world title. Fight me, final eliminator, WBC silver title. Bam, September, let's do this.
Do you think it'll be a pay-per-view event if you fought Bellew? Do you think it'll be enough hype around it?
Listen, it's going to be crazy. Bellew's going to talk so much smack. You know me, I don't just let no one talk smack to me. I don't say anything. So it'll be a crazy build-up, you know.
Exciting times. What did you make of...
I'd have to ring the bell and bang, bang.
What did you make of George Groves and James DeGale clashing at ringside?
That's another fight I'm interested to see. You know, I think James DeGale will beat him this time.
Yeah.
I see James DeGale beat him this time because at the time, what George had was Adam. Since he's left Adam, he's gone downhill big time. I'm sure you're inclined to agree with me. He said Adam gave him a lot of confidence and a lot of strategy. Since he left Adam Booth, he's never been the same fighter. I think what's he lost on 4-5 or something? 3-4 fights or something he's lost. But when he was with Adam, he was on point. When he was with Adam at one stage, George looked unbeatable. And then he left just before the first Galfratch fight. Then it was downhill from then, you know? You can't leave such an experienced trainer to go to a less experienced trainer. It doesn't make no sense.
You say less experienced, but Shane McGuigan has he's had Carl Frampton in numerous world title fights, obviously.
Yeah, but...
Groves has been in a few big fights. David Hayes been in a few big fights.
Yeah, but that's one guy though. Booth has been tried and tested. I've done it for years. I've been under big pressure fights, you know, big, massive pay-per-view, dust-up, massive fights. So, yeah, been to Germany with David Hay, been to France, been to there, been to this, you know, at George, other guys, Rocket, other guys, you know what I mean? But I guess some people's got to earn the experience somehow. I guess it starts, you know what I mean? I guess you don't get me wrong, he's a good trainer, but he seems to be getting the strategies wrong these days, so. But every trainer goes through that, I think, at some point.
The fact that George Groves has beaten DeGale, do you feel that holds relevance, and do you think that'll give him the inspiration he needs to do a job on him again?
Of course it does, but that will also motivate James DeGale to get the win back. Now he's world champion. You know, I think that time James DeGale was just young and inexperienced and naive and just went in there the wrong mindset, like what David did against Bellew at the weekend. You know, David was angry and looking to destroy. Same with what DeGale was doing. He wasn't using his boxing ability and his skill. He was just trying to get Grove, and Adam's very good at nullifying an aggressive fighter. You know,
It's quite interesting. Like Badou Jack vacated, so Callum Smith will now face Darrell for that title, and if he wins that again leaves potential for some big fights here for us.
yeah, there's some massive fights out there. You know, I think Callum Smith should beat Andre Jarrell, but you know, I don't know, man. We'll see. You know, I think if it was here in Liverpool, Callum Smith definitely beats him. But now Callum's got to go away. It might be a different story. You know, maybe a different story that some guys don't fight well away. Hopefully, he's one of them. He win a world title. Boxing need these big fights. That's why even like me and Tony Belly, boxing needs these big fights. Me and Dominic Brazil, boxing need these big fights. You know, Dominic Brazil, Uzano, them fights are big. AJ Klitschko. You know, David Hay, Tony Bellew, boxing need these big fights, you know? I'm glad when I see these big fights because it's good for me as well as it's good for all the other up-and-coming fighters, you know?
See, your social media and your profile has been growing. Everybody seems to know who you are now. How are you handling the pressures that come along with being in the public eye?
It's been alright because I've built my stuff and worked hard for it. I never had no free publicity or no free Sky profile or no big media machine behind me. It's just me. That's what everyone forget is I manage myself. I do it myself. So I got to work twice as hard. Probably got to talk twice as much shit. Probably got to be in twice as much people's face. You know, I got to do it by myself. No one ain't going to give me anything, you know. I'm doing this all by myself. It's just me. Like all these other guys, they got massive media machines behind them and massive media companies and stuff.
Are you saying, look, we're not a massive media machine, mate? I just twigged onto what you were saying then.
No, I'm just saying you guys I say you guys are a small media machine.
Carry on.
I know Coogan's got a massive follower in Sri Lanka though.
Wait.
Yeah, he's got the whole of India and Sri Lanka behind him and Pakistan.
Since him and Rangesh linked up, we've
I
had
know.
a whole new wave of Sri Lanka.
I know it's a madness in it. It's like Coogan bloody, very good for a country in his interview now, you know.
Who thought there was two geezers out there looked like Papa Shango that much?
Bruv, I thought I was watching the Khan family all over again. You know, I thought I was watching the Khan family all over again.
I'd love to see him take Coogan out to Sri Lanka. That would make his life. He would love that.
Well, actually, I would like to go to Sri Lanka actually and see what it's like. I love going to these places and taking in different cultures and stuff. You know, I enjoy it, man. Spend a bit of time with the local. See where Coogan's from. I might visit his village, his own village.
Stop that.
And see.
All right, listen. Good to get you back on the channel. Appreciate your thoughts and stuff, and hopefully we look forward to hearing some announcement regarding May.
Bellew, you got my number, dial it. I'm waiting for you. You got one up on a London guy. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you for Chicken Hay.
Nice one, Del.
Cool.